TGIF. It's Friday, and we're here, and we're a little early, I think. I think we're 1 minute early, Janet, so we're really happy that you're here today. We have two people watching. Yay. Julie, Janice, and Teresa. I guess we have three people watching so far. We don't usually start a minute early, but we wanted to show these cards that everybody's going to love because they're designed by Janet, and they use the beautiful Graphic 45 Blossom collection.
It's pretty stuff.
It's gorgeous, and Janet's going to even show us how to make this right here, aren't you, Janet?
I am.
Is it like a little, what do you call that, a little half stand-up?
It's an easel card, but it's like a miniature easel, Kelly.
A miniature easel card.
So cute.
It's adorable. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Memory Bound. It's exciting. This is what we were all so happy for because Janet's here, and she's going to start her Heritage series, and she's got an album. And Janet, is this going to be like maybe 5 weeks or 6 weeks or
give or take? I have a lot of topics, and it just kind of depends on how long it takes us to get through.
Well, I think it's wonderful. There's a lot of people out there waiting to hear about this because a lot of us have our family photos and we don't know what to do, or we're confused.
I know. I'm just going to share with you what has worked for me. So.
All right. Well, Janet, why don't you go ahead and show us your card kit? Let's get started because I love it.
Awesome. Well, this is called the Graphic 45 Blossom line, and I just love it. It's just so beautiful. What makes this a unique line, I think, is the navy blue that was included with the paper. I think it's a really interesting pop of color. So this kit makes 8 cards, Kelly, and it is $28.99. So it comes with, I believe it's 8 different sheets of paper that you will cut according to the instructions. It has a whole pack of the Graphic 45 die cuts. And it's got all the insides.
Look
for
at the card insides. That's what we love.
I have to do that, That's kind of my thing.
It's your thing, and I think everybody loves it.
And we have a variety of different sizes. So I made an A7 card, which is the larger. And then there's a slimline card.
Okay.
As well. And you guys, the way I cut the slimline card was I used an A7 card, and then I just cut the side off.
I know, that's such a good idea.
Janet, I love it. Okay, so you took an A7 card and you cut off the edge.
Yep, cut
so
off
what
like
size
an
did
inch
you?
and a half. It's like 3.5 inches.
Okay.
By 7 inches. So this is a small slimline card, and it fits a smaller slimline envelope.
What a smart idea, Janet. I want to know, how did you come up with that?
Well, desperation.
She ran out of paper.
I love it.
Actually, I was thinking, well, what are the dimensions that I needed to come up with? And I thought, 7 inches. Why, that's the same dimension as an A7 card.
That was smart. Very smart. I love it.
And then you've got a couple scraps left over for whatever. So then I have several what we call A2 cards.
Okay.
And look at that magenta. I think that is so pretty.
Well, what clever idea on your butterfly there to put a
Yeah.
twine.
Yeah, that looks
And
good.
this is also an A7 card or A2 card.
Okay, open that up again. Oh, wait, let me get back a little bit. Okay.
It has an accordion on the front.
Oh, jeez.
So this card, you're just going to cut your card base in half and only use part of it.
Oh, okay, so that's like a flat card.
It's a flat card.
And then you have the stuff
and
on
then
the front.
this accordion, which you will make this accordion. It's just like a 9-inch strip that you score. And then when you're done, you're going to have some extra paper. You can cover these 2 panels too. So, and that's all in
oh
your
my gosh.
instructions.
Janet, your cards are more than just cards.
Oh, well, thank you, Kelly. This is another A2 card that has the side cut off of it, which it's just a fun and easy thing. We do that all the time around here, but I always like the
Round
look of
hair.
it. Around
We do that all the time.
Hey.
Round hair.
Janny says, "Oh wow," in all capital letters with 2 exclamation points. So that is
Oh, that's awesome. And this is a top folding card.
That's a nice change, too.
Yeah, I love top folding cards.
now.
so.
Dawn has a really good explanation about Janet's kits that you always talk about.
Okay.
So say that again.
I recommend that you always save Janet's instructions from all of her kits, because anytime that you need inspiration, you can always refer back to Janet's card kit instructions.
That's true.
Just put them in a notebook and save them.
I hope that everybody does that.
I hope so too, because here's Janet's instructions. They're so well laid out.
Lots of little pictures.
And pictures and very meticulously written. So,
Well, thank you. I'm one
So,
of those weird
there.
people that actually enjoys writing instructions.
Janet, when Katie has talked about it also, that Katie has actually made several of your card kits, and she loves it because she learns how to do the technique, and then you can make it on other cards.
right.
Oh, good.
And then I also wanted to point out that there's always full color pictures of the cards in the kits also.
Yes. Taking on my craft room floor. And this last one,
Oh,
Kelly,
there's
is
one more.
It's a
Okay.
pocket card. So you'll just take your 8x8 paper and cut it and fold up the bottom to create a little
Oh, make a
pocket.
little pocket, and you got some
Yeah.
good stuff to go in
And
there.
you can put some stuff in there, so whatever you want. So let me show you real quick about this card, because I think this is really fun. We've made a lot of easel cards around here, but if you did one of our Christmas card kits, I had something similar in this, and I really
Well,
liked the
Janet, it's
size.
funny because Debbie just said I loved all the Christmas cards that Janet designed.
Well, thank you. This one I thought was really fun because it's like an easel card, but it's a little bit smaller, and it starts out as a regular A2 card.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you close this up, it fits in an A2 envelope. Measure down from the top, and you're going to see that's about 2.5 inches that is cut off the top of the card. I'll show you how that
Oh, you cut the top of the card off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to cut 2.5 inches off the top. So what I am lining up, could be a cat hair perhaps, I don't know. I'm lining up the top of the card at 2.5 inches, and I'm just going to put the blade in right at the score line of the card,
Okay.
and then just press it all the way out. And then we just need to cut along the fold, and you can do this either on your trimmer or with scissors.
The Blossom kit, is that what she's showing?
They're on the card too, Dawn.
And now I have cut off the front of the card.
Oh, geez.
that's
that's
what
not
that
where I
looks
would. That's
like.
not where I would have started.
Well, that's really all it is. And then what you need to do is make this easel. And here's a simple way to do it. You could score it, you could measure and score, or literally all you have to do is fold this in half. And there's your easel.
Oh my gosh,
So,
Janet,
that's
I
it.
could do that. I could do that.
Easy, super easy. So with that done, that's kind of the general framework of your card. And then you'll just take your paper and you'll just decorate the base of it here. Mm-hmm. You'll cover your easel, both sides, because you want it to be pretty on all sides, right? And then I gave you a little greeting to put here. And you'll put your little postage stamps at the bottom to form your little easel stopper.
Oh my gosh, I love
And
that.
that's as simple as that. So you could do this with anything, and it's a really great way to use up some of the smaller pieces of ephemera.
But that's like just perfect.
It's
for,
perfect.
Yeah.
I saw this in the little bag of goodies and the die cuts from Graphic 45, and so I specifically set out to use that on this card. It's got that ornate top. It's actually got an ornate bottom too, but I just cut that off. So that it could sit nicely. And what's great about it is the back side is finished too, so you don't
Oh
have
my
to
I
worry.
could see somebody having that card just sitting out to
Sitting
cheer
out.
them up.
Absolutely.
So that's all there is to that, and you'll get the full instructions. for
Mary
all of
says,
these.
"Wowzers!" And Cheryl, yes, they do come with envelopes. All of Janet's kits include envelopes.
Envelopes and card bases and full color
And
instructions.
Janet,
and all.
Pamela says, "I just want to say Janet's kits are great. If you bought kits with the level of detailed instructions elsewhere, it would be much more expensive. It's a great value."
Oh, well, thank you.
Beautiful. Lots of people watching.
Appreciate
Beautiful.
that. Well, thank you so much. And here's all the extra stuff you're going to have left over. This
Oh,
is
wow.
yeah, I probably could have made another another 8 cards from
Aw.
this.
So you're gonna have lots of ephemera
lots left. And you can use some of these on the insides of your cards. I think there is 1 or 2 that I used
So you could put your little
insides.
ephemera
Yeah.
inside. There you go.
Yeah. Or you can make more cards.
Make more cards.
And this is as much paper. You'll have a lot of paper left over too, and little pieces that you can
So
use.
that is a good deal.
That's a very good
That's
deal.
a good deal.
I would say you can make at least, 5 more cards at least, depending on the design.
Cool.
All right. Well, Janet, thank you. Once again, I think you did an amazing job.
You're welcome.
We are going to come back to Janet. Geez, this is like the Today Show or news or something, because we're going to come back to Janet in just a minute. We've got Dawn over here with some new product. She's on location. Can we say that, Dawn? Oh, I think it's so funny. But we do have some good stuff that came back in stock and some new stuff. So
Well, I have really good news, and that is that the Hearts Intertwine dies are back in stock, and they're $17.99. They're my favorite things. So if you go to Dyes, my favorite things, Hearts Intertwined is what you're going to look for. This is the dye. And we
Yeah.
did a demo maybe last week or the week
about a week
before.
ago?
And this is what we made. Yeah, it was a Saturday. Not this one, but this is what we made. We did some ink smushing and then die cut the hearts out and put them on top of the ink smushing. Or this one, you can cut it out of black and then cut the die out of the different colors and then piece it, which I thought was a really fun technique. So there you
and
go.
these would be good for Valentine's
Or
or for an
anything.
anniversary or thinking of you or
I think there's-
wedding, lots
we-
of different.
We had those sheets that we printed that we are selling that say something about "you warm my heart," so it's for friends. Even though you
we'll
can
have to
send
find
them to
those.
friends at any time, so that you'll find those under card making on our
The sheets, okay.
Yes, yep. Balloon punch back in
We,
stock.
we're loving balloons
Yeah,
right now.
in fact, I did find that card that Katie made. It's in the
Oh,
office
okay.
with balloons. So, anyway, back in stock. Should we come back over here?
Sure.
Okay, so
These are one of my favorites, Dawn, I have to say.
now we're
I
back
love these
to
things.
my favorite things, and they're stencils. And do you see how, like these, like the rectangle, the circle, the ovals are made here? Well, those are made with stencils. And we added a new one, Kelly.
What?
We added a new one. We added
Oh,
stars.
I'm gonna
The
have to get that
star
one.
stencil. So you can either use the positive or the negative of the stencil.
It's
So-
glaring a little bit. I don't know
okay.
if you can. There we
Here's the
go. That's
stars.
perfect, Dawn.
And here's the ovals.
And how much are those?
These are $5.49.
$5.49. And you get the inside piece so you can mask.
Okay.
You can do the inside or the outside.
So, like, for instance, here's the circle. So you would put this piece on your card, and you'd ink the center, and then you can lay your butterfly on and stamp your message. It makes the perfect
does. It's
background.
nice. I like it.
So easy. Now, on this card, this was made with the oval. So you put the outside of your oval on, you ink your middle, and then you put the middle piece over the center, and then you ink the outside. So you get the two-tone, and it's just so easy to do. So we also have them in hearts. That's a new one, Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
We have hearts, circles, squares, rectangles, ovals, and stars now.
And those are online under stencils?
Yes,
All right.
and my favorite things.
I really love those.
Okay, so let's go over here to probably one of our most popular stamps
Yes,
of all
maybe
time.
ever.
And this
It's
is
back.
the truck stamp from Honeybee. It's $14.99. And
It's called Little Pickup.
What's really fun is you stamp the pickup, and then you can put all of these other images in there depending on what season you need your card for. So that's just so cute. And then the dies, the coordinating dies come with it. And then here's the stamp set that goes with it, and it is Sending You Sentiments. So like Loads Of would be a fun one to put with that card. And Just For You, and Loads of Happiness, loads of Get Well Wishes. So you can
Lots of-
intermix all the
And
all
that
the
one's
sayings.
discontinued, so this might be our last batch.
And these are $19.99, and there's tons of messages on there.
You could pretty much cover about every event.
Occasion. So these are under Honeybee, under Stamps and Honeybee brand. Okay, then the next one they came out with, I think this one's so cute. It's called Pickup Lines.
The name of it alone is clever.
The name
I love
is
it.
very good. So this one can also
I
go
miss
with
you
the,
a ton. Like a half ton or whatever
yeah.
pickup. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yep. Prayers, thought you could use a little pickup. How cute is that?
Yeah, that's cute.
If one of your friends is not feeling good, sending you loads of prayers, happy thoughts, best wishes, happy mail, happiness, kisses, blessings. So this is their new one that's replacing this one. So depending on which one you like, if you like this one, you're going to need to get it quickly.
I'm going to need to get
and
that.
This is the new one.
Love it.
Okay.
And then there's the die for that one, Dawn.
Oh, under
It's at the very bottom.
there it is, and there's the
So
dies.
if you don't
that-
like to cut it, if you want to cut them out and you want them cut out exact, you can get the die set.
and the dies are $21.99. That's not that much
That
for all
doesn't
of those.
seem, I think we need to look into that.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot of dice for $21.99. Okay, before we go over to that direction, let's go over here. Chris showed a demo with this, and this is we call it the triple square die cards, but this is the die, and it makes this triple square, I
Card
call
front.
it a pop-up card
And they
almost.
kind of
because-
flip when you open it.
Yes, it's awesome. So those are back in. But then we had customers that asked, can we just have them pre-made? So we have them now packaged. They're white. They come with the envelopes. It's $7.29, and you get 10 cards with the envelopes. So that's a pretty good deal for $7.29. So all done, and if you need them colored, spritz them with your distress sprays and make them whatever color you need them to be. Okay, then we also have the stair step card. I wonder if I have a sample here. I guess there's a picture here.
I don't have my sample here. I made one of those.
And so we have the die if you want to make yours, and you can make them out of any color of cardstock you want, or you can buy them pre-made. So the finished card is 5.5 by 5.5.
Dawn, Corrine got her triple square die yesterday, and she's had a lot of fun making cards with it. Corrine, you can post pictures in our comments somewhere. We'd love to see what you made. And then, Dawn, they want to know what the other Love Heart die is called. I think it's that one.
Okay. I gotta go make sure that this is even still in stock. You know it is. I know it is. Let me
Okay.
run and get it.
Okay, Dawn, we do have it? Oh, that's part of this new card kit.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Dawn ran to get that, so I'll show you the album case that's back in style. We got these in a week ago, and they all sold out. It's an album case. Oh, thank you, Janet, because this is probably perfect for your heritage albums. And it's it's plastic, but it's archival, and you can put, your albums or your supplies or just about anything in it. It's 12.5 by 13.75 by 4. There are the dimensions. And it's from Totally Tiffany. And Janet, flip it over. Let's see how much it is. It's $7.99.
This would be great, Kelly, if you were wanting to work on your heritage project and didn't have a space to leave everything out.
Oh, you
can
put all
put it
your
away.
supply. Yeah, put your memorabilia, your photos, and keep it all in there.
Keep it
That's a
all
great
together.
idea. So that's here. And then we also have back in the Jennifer McGuire favorite Westcott T-square ruler. And this is $2.99. And Dawn, we've sold a ton of these, haven't we?
Yeah.
Chris used it the other day on her project to make some marks. Oh, is that
Okay,
back?
here's the
Oh.
die, and we just cut out a couple things from it. This is a great die. It's by Studio Light. You'll find this under dies and miscellaneous vendors, and it's $13.49.
Pam, I hope that's what you were looking for.
So really,
And they want to know how much the triple die is too, Dawn.
that one is $9.99.
Okay, it's $9.99. Now the Honeybee stamps, if you go to stamps and then go to the brand Honeybee, they'll be right there. And same with the dies. If you go to dies and go to Honeybee, they'll be right there. Let's see. We do ship Denise, we ship every day, and I assume SC, South Carolina,
Absolutely.
we'll send it right to you. We actually have, is that where Linda lives?
Yeah.
So we're already shipping there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, okay, here we go.
We have the Tim Holtz ruler back in stock, and this is the one that Darla showed in her demo. And you just poke there. You can see there's holes in there, and this is where she did her faux stitching. So she just took a die pick, poked it through the holes, and did a black marker
Like a
through
Le
it,
Pen, you could get one of
Yep.
our Le Pens, works really well.
and made faux stitching. Let's see. I think we've
Oh,
showed
yeah,
this
they're
one
back.
before.
They just came back in stock.
Okay, and then the Tim Holtz ideology vignette sets are back in stock, and you see a lot of his designers or his makers using these. And I think a little Easter vignette in these boxes would be fun.
Michelle says they do ship, mostly to me. Michelle, we have had several boxes go your way, and thank you. We appreciate it.
We do appreciate your business. Oh, and the distress ink storage tins.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess I
those are
should.
back. Those have been going like crazy. There's a picture of what they do. They hold 15 ink pads. They get you so organized you can't hardly stand it probably.
Okay. Lots of ribbon. We just got in all these fun colors in this really cool ribbon. It's 25 cents a foot.
It's
And
nice and narrow, and it's good for tying bows or knots.
this is what it looks like. Let me just pull out something.
Oh, that would be cute on that card right there.
Right. Okay, so do you want to talk about your Valentine
We
card
can,
kit?
sure, we can.
Okay.
We have a new Valentine card kit. Michelle says the boxes keep her out of trouble. So it's they're all side fold cards, which I think are kind of cool. We demoed that maybe 2 weeks ago, and it all comes. You have the paper, the die cuts. You got all the twine, the instructions. Everything is in there that you need, and
Envelopes.
you have extra paper. Yeah, envelopes. And each card is a side fold card, so it's got that little border on the left, and they're 4x4. And they're blank inside, so you can stamp them or put whatever you want on them.
Coupons in them. There's really cute, Kelly. And how much is this kit?
I'd have to look on the. I'm not really sure, Dawn.
Oh, right here, $20.99.
Okay, it's $20.99
for 8 cards.
Makes 8 cards, and you get a strip of paper that's 12x4, and you basically cut off these pieces as you want to use them. So you could mix them up if you wanted to, and you will have some extra paper to make extra cards.
They're really
So-
cute.
Yeah, we were a little
Really?
low on Valentine cards, and our other one sold out, so there's a new one right there for us. Okay, well, that was
And Maker Mania.
Oh, you wanna talk about Maker Mania? Oh, yeah,
Well,
plus-
we need to
plus
show.
Sunday's a big day for us.
Oh, yes. For those of you who are participating in Maker Mania, Kelly and I debut on Sunday about 10 a.m. We're going to be doing a live video on the Maker Mania Facebook page showing our store and telling about ourselves to the Maker Mania people. So every day leading up to Maker Mania, there's a different store talking about their store and how excited we are about Maker Mania coming up. So that is Sunday at 10 a.m. If you're part of Maker Mania too, tune in.
Tune
and you'll
in,
Be able to see
and
it.
if you can't make it, watch us later.
Right, yep. Okay, and then we also wanted to point out that a lot of the stores are posting the things that they are using in their projects, and there is a list of items that you will want to have ready to go for that weekend. And we will be sending out emails to our Maker Mania customers.
Probably next week.
Yep.
Next week
And
we'll send out an email.
more of those. And then I also wanted to point out that we are getting in a lot of these really fun Nouveau colors because a lot of the stores are going to be using those, and we are getting stocked up on those.
And if you're not sure what color you need, you could go online or give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you. But look at how great they look with the paper.
Yeah, it's really.
They look really amazing, Dawn.
And then we do have the coordinating cardstock.
Yeah, we have the cardstock pack if you want to get that ahead of time. And then, Dawn, the last question I see is they want to know the brands of those heart dies, the 2 heart dies. if we could just review that.
Okay.
And then we'll get over to Janet.
This one is Studio Light, but so you'll find this under dyes and miscellaneous vendor.
Okay.
All right. And then this one is My Favorite Things, and you will find that under dyes and My Favorite Things.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now back to our studio with Janet, right? Okay, Janet, I think everyone has been so excited. Okay, wait, we have a quick Maker Mania question. Tammy, the videos will all be available to view later. So whatever you don't watch live will be at that Maker Mania Facebook page. All right, Janet, yippee. We've been waiting for this for so long. We're so excited.
I'm super excited that everybody is excited about this because honestly, Kelly, and you know I've done a lot of scrapbooking in my life.
Yes.
I would say that this Heritage project has definitely been the most worthwhile and most gratifying project of all the scrapbooking I've done. And I know that if everybody else takes the time to get started and just gets started on this, you're going to feel the same. And
I think getting started is the
Is the
hard part,
hardest part.
which is why you're here to
that
help
is
us.
exactly why I'm here. Could you just show everybody this quote to start?
Absolutely.
I've attempted to say this several times when I've been here, and I've never gotten it quite right, but I just love this. This really speaks to the importance of capturing your family's history.
Do you want me to read it?
Shall we
For-
read it?
For the people who are at work and they can't look at the screen totally, I think we should read it. Do you want to read it upside down, or do you want
Oh,
me to
I can read it.
Okay.
I'm just going to start here. Suddenly, all my ancestors are behind me. Be still, they say. Watch and listen. You are the result of the love of thousands.
That's
Wow.
neat.
Well, it does give you I got goosebumps.
I love this quote because it really speaks to all the generations that came before you. And the fact that you are here is pretty special. And so this to me is why we do family history scrapbooking. And just to remember where we came from, pay homage or pay tribute to those who came before us. So this has just kind of been my guiding light as I've worked on this project. So I thought, Kelly, before we got started, let me just thank everybody who offered input, and there were a lot of you who offered input.
Well, that's good.
We back in, I think it was November or December, we suggested doing this series and asked for input, and boy, did we get a lot of input. I took everybody's comments, and there were tons of them, and created a list of all the topics to cover in this series. And at first, we kind of thought, well, we'll show some layouts, so show some album ideas, but no, that is not the right place to start. The overwhelming sentiment that I heard in that feedback was, I've got boxes, I don't even know where to begin. And so that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the box and give you a framework.
And you guys, Janet has a box
actually
here.
brought a
There's her
real-life
box.
box.
And Nancy's asking if there's something she needs to sign up to sign up. And Nancy, you just have to tune in or
You're here.
watch us later. Janet's here every Friday for the next, we don't know, 5 weeks, maybe 6.
We'll
see
long
how
it
it
takes
goes.
us to get through. So let's start out and look at an album that I have made. This is one of 7 or 8 that I've got in the works with my grandmother's side of the family. This is on my mom's side. And this particular album starts with the oldest couple that I had information on. And I've got a tab for each set of grandparents.
Oh, wait, let me get up to the tab.
I've got a tab for each set of grandparents. And we'll talk about the recommended products in just a second. But just to show you kind of what this looks like and get everybody kind of in the frame of mind. On this page, I've just got obituary information and newspaper articles that I've found. I don't have much information about these people. This is from Ancestry, which if you get into family history, one thing that I might suggest is you look into joining Ancestry, and you can get a free membership to Ancestry and access a lot of the records. But Ancestry puts together what's called a family group sheet. It's just automatically generated based on the family tree you create on Ancestry. And this just shows who the people are. These are the 2 people in this section, and all of their children. And one of those children.
Oh, it's so interesting.
Yeah, and it shows all
when
the
they
details.
were born and died and everything.
Yeah, so this is a snapshot of the whole family. So I've tried to include those for every section. And here's another one for these people here. So this is the next generation, which is my second great-grandparents. And you're going to notice as we go along, I used original pictures in my album, Kelly. And a purist would tell you never to do that. The reason being, many times other people want copies of your photos, and it's best to leave the original somewhere else and just work with a copy in your
Okay.
album. But since I'm the only one left in my family and there's nobody else who wants these photos, the safest place for these photos for me is in an album. So I did use originals, but that's a decision we'll talk about next week in more detail. But you're going to notice that as we look through this album. So these are snapshots for that same couple. And that's really all I have about that couple. And then we go into the next one.
So you got your tab there
Got my
that's dividing your
tab,
next
yeah.
group.
And this is what I would call an anchor photo. And I hope as you guys sort your photos, you are lucky to find what I call an anchor photo, which has the people identified. And you can use a photo like this to help you identify other photos that aren't marked. So this is a copy of an original, and it has been really helpful to me. So you can see as we go through here, I did not use a single paper pack or a collection. I just used neutral colors of paper and cardstock to coordinate. And here's another anchor photo. Luckily, somebody did all the identification here, and this photo has been tremendously helpful for me as I try to figure out other
Yeah,
photos.
there's a lot of people in there.
Yes. Another family group sheet, and we just go on back through the generations. Betty an idea of what an album can look like. This is just one way of organizing it. I tried to, in each section, include all the information I had about that particular couple and their family.
Okay, hang on a second, Janet. I want to do something. Hey, Dawn, will you try turning that light off, the one light?
Is it glaring?
It's glaring a little bit, so we're going to adjust our lighting. Doesn't that sound good?
Ooh,
Okay.
this is like a professional
So let's see,
studio,
did that
Kelly.
help?
Better or no?
I think that did help, yes.
Great.
Thanks, Dawn. Okay, now it's not glaring quite as much.
Great. So in each section about each couple, I included all of the other snapshots I might have of them and any memorabilia that I also had about them. And by memorabilia, I just mean letters, postcards, marriage certificates, all of those kinds of things.
Janet, there's a question about Ancestry. Is that something that's free, or do you need to pay for that?
There is a free level of memberships.
Okay.
There are several different levels, and there's
Okay.
one that you can get that is free. You will not have access to all of the records, but you can still build your family tree, and you can see a lot.
Okay.
So it's called a free group, free guest membership.
Okay, sounds good.
So
Good to know.
definitely check it out.
Oh, you got a birth certificate.
Birth certificates. I've got some drawings that were done by my grandma and my grandpa. And
Oh, wait, so like letters? You have
Letters,
letters here with the envelopes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, treasures.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had even some of my grandma's Valentines. So this is a pocket that you can pull out everything. And
Well, and it's a
take look.
multi-level pocket. You've got two
Yeah.
pockets there, so you're probably going to
Yeah.
show us how to do that.
Actually, it is going to be next week, I think.
Awesome.
And here's another page which I found really fun to put together. This is the one-room schoolhouse that my grandma and my parents went to. And these are some of my grandma's classmates. I don't know who they are, but I know that they are her classmates. And I did find a picture of the schoolhouse, and I wrote a little bit about that.
So did you find the picture, like Googled it and
Googled
found
it,
it?
yep,
Okay,
yep,
that's a good source.
And then I also had a few school programs for my grandma. And this is a copy of a newspaper article where she was doing some kind of a school dancing program.
Oh my gosh.
So this is one of those pockets that's a three pocket sheet protector, and it fits these pieces really well because you can just pull them out and open them up and look at them. So just continuing on. So all this stuff I would call memorabilia. And
Okay.
I think it just makes your album so much more interesting to look at. I liked being able to pull out the things. I think my grandma drew that. And have them hold them in my hands. So there's another drawing from my grandma.
So your grandma was creative and artistic,
She
just like
was-
you, Janet.
She was very artistic. I used a baseball sleeve or one of the pocket sheet protectors.
The 2x3s.
Yeah. To add in a few different smaller pieces of memorabilia, more dimensional kinds of things, of kind of a lumpy photo, and I think she was an Eastern Star, and a few other things. She was an upholsterer, furniture upholsterer. So all of these things I wanted to include about my grandma.
Janet, I think this is so nice to give people ideas about what to include, and don't throw things away
No,
because they
no.
would be really nice to have.
Absolutely. This is, and I think I've shown this before, but this is a photo of a Farm Bureau meeting taken at my great-grandparents' house. And so I knew what this picture was, and then as I was going through stuff, I happened to find a Farm Bureau program from that same group.
Oh my gosh.
So this one references like their schedule of activities through the year, all the different programs that they did, and so I put that with the photo. So I think it gives it context and makes
What
it
a
little
great
more
story.
interesting. Yeah. So those are the kinds of treasures that you can kind of link together as you go through and put together your album. So this is just one of a few different albums that I have going. This one I will point out too. And we
Is
can,
that your grandma right
this
there?
is my grandma.
Oh,
I have her actual diploma from East High School in Des Moines, and it's big and it unrolls. So
it unrolls. It's that big.
it's
Oh my
quite large.
gosh.
I'm not sure why it's so large. Excuse me, but I stretched it out and I tacked it down with, or I weighted it down with, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, with heavy objects enough so I could take a picture of it.
Oh my gosh.
So I still have the original, not sure what I will do with that.
That's a good idea to
But
take
I-
a photo of it.
At least I got the copy
Oh, look at
into my.
your grandma must have been
Yeah.
kind of hip and cool.
I think so, yeah. And look at those boots.
Yeah,
Kinda
very cool. I love it.
So these are just some ideas of what you can do. These are her siblings, so I have a page for each of her siblings, and so forth. So just wanted to share with you what an album kind of in process looks like. And again, I've got a few of them going.
Janet,
on.
there's a lot of hearts. People are loving this album,
Oh, good.
and
good.
they just think it's amazing. And she's using the We Are Memory Keepers D-ring binder, and I think
Yes.
she's going to show you that too.
Yep.
It comes in lots of colors.
So to get started on a project like this, you're going to need a few different supplies. Kelly and I gathered a few things, and I have a list here that we will post when we're done.
Is that what we're doing next? Want
Yeah,
to do
we'll do
supplies
supplies
next?
next.
Okay.
And let me just share with you a few different things. So when you first get started, you're going to have a sorting process that you go through. So you're going to need, of course, a table to work at.
A
with
big table, depending on how much stuff you have.
And how big your box is. Some boxes, some tubs for temporary sorting. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. File folders, hanging folders, if you like to organize that way.
Okay.
But one thing that you will definitely need is some type of a photo box for organizing. And again, it depends on how many photos you actually have. If you're not dealing with a ton of photos, you might be able to work with something like this, which I think is a cute little photo
Yeah, and
box.
it's archival, so that's one thing to consider.
Yes, for sure. And these are also photo safe. So again, if you don't have a ton of photos to work with, these are handy because you can split them into categories or by person or whatever.
Okay, and these are going to be online under storage. And Janet, that little box there is $4.99.
Which is a great price.
And then this one, the plastic photo keeper here, is $13.99.
And then we have this one in a bigger size.
Oh, and it's pretty too.
Yes, rainbow
It's from
color.
We Are Memory Keepers, and what does it have? 20 boxes in it?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16
16 boxes, and it's $39.99. And you could even, I mean, depending on what you have, you could take the little boxes out and put stuff in the big box.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a good thing.
So depending on how many pictures you were working with, consider, you know, which one would work best for you. The one that I have and used, I actually had two of these, Kelly, was this one, and I kind of like this one for
This is the Cropper Hopper photo case.
$34.99. I kind of like this one for heritage photos because it's a little more flexible. You've got an open space that you can divide however you want.
So it comes with dividers and index cards,
index
to
cards.
label things.
You can make your own out of just pieces of cardstock for sure. And on the back side, the other thing that's great about
I used this
box-
for when I did our daughter's high school album. I used one of these to just organize. There were so many pictures. It worked
super
really
handy.
well.
Yeah, and this has a space for oversized pictures, which you're going to run into a lot during your heritage sorting. So this one works great. I had two of these that I used for my projects. If you don't want to get this one and still have oversized photos, you can just use regular manila
File folders, sure.
for those oversized ones in the meantime. So those are some things that you're going to
So
need.
organization things.
Next week, we're going to talk about a concept called a life binder, Kelly.
Oh,
Which is just a binder. This is a temporary binder. So this is
Okay.
not the kind that we sell, but this is like an office store
Okay.
binder.
a life binder.
Life binder.
Interesting.
This is for organizing your memorabilia until you can get it into an album, into a scrapbook. So, for instance, and we'll talk about this again next week, if you've got a lot of memorabilia, like all that stuff I showed you for my grandma, you can make a life binder for your grandma, for your dad, for your mom, and the tabs are going to be for each stage in life. So birth, primary school, secondary school, military, work, and so forth.
You could do that for current, Janet.
it for anyone.
for your kids or your family. Doesn't have to be
It doesn't have to be heritage.
old days or heritage.
But the advantage to this, Kelly, is when you have your memorabilia sorted this way and organized this way, then when you're scrapbooking and you're working on your dad's birth or your dad's school years, you can just pull out the life binder and go right to that section.
I love that idea, Janet. That seems, rather than sorting through a box or trying to find things, I absolutely love that.
This is like, of all the things that I learned doing this project, this is the
That's
best.
the best. I can believe it.
And I got this tip from a class I took at the Iowa Genealogy Society. It's a genealogy hack, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I learned at that same class was they make something called an oversized or extra wide divider tabs. You can get these at the Office Depot or any office store. But what's great about them, Kelly, is they fit out, they are wider than your sheet protectors. So they stick out past.
So
a
it's
plastic-
easier to find things? Is that
Yeah,
the
if you-
idea?
A regular tab would not be visible in an album.
Oh,
because it would
yeah.
sit in here like
Yes.
this. This sits out past the sheet protectors.
So if you're going to get tabs, you might as well get the big
Get the
ones.
oversized.
And those are called the big tab insertables. So they're the
Yes.
extra wide tab dividers.
And again, these are things that we do not carry.
Right.
And this is just for temporary storage, so these are not archival or anything like that. I wouldn't intend for anything to stay in this long term. It's just until you get
To
your
get
scrapbook
organized.
going. Yes. So then, talking about scrapbooks, Kelly, which is what we're here to do.
That's right.
I would definitely recommend the 3-ring binders by We Are Memory Keepers. I've made a ton of them. They're so sturdy and such good quality. I recommend them for every kind of scrapbooking, but super handy for heritage scrapbooking because I'm going to recommend that you start making your album like soon. And you won't have everything figured out before, you know, when you start your album. You're going to start working on your album before you have all of your pictures done. But a D-ring album like this allows you to add in pages as you go. So as you discover new pictures or identify new pictures, you can just easily.
It's easy to open
Add
it up and slip them in. And it's got
Yes.
lots of configurations too, which
Yes.
you're probably going to talk about.
Yes, so then I would also recommend pick up some extra full-size sleeves at the time that you buy your album. Decide on a color, pick up your sleeves.
Janet, do you realize that you picked up forest green for an album?
I
And it looks
did.
really nice with your sweater.
Hey, not
It's
intentional,
very
but
coordinated.
It's a professional operation.
It is,
calendar.
it is.
So I would say, for sure, you're going to want more of the full-size sleeves. And I have found a lot of use for the 8.5 by 11 as well. But then also it depends on what size memorabilia you have.
So Janet, how many pages come with the album?
You're gonna get.
Is it
I think
is it
it's
5
it's
maybe?
5.
I think it might be 5.
Yes, it is
So
5.
10 front and back come in the album, and they're $32.99, and all the color choices and things are online under albums, and we are memory keepers, and there's a lot of color choices.
Great quality. And then I would also recommend the tabs, and I think we looked at the tabs in my sample album. I use these for dividing all of my albums, but they're especially handy for heritage albums.
Janet showed us those months ago, and people went wild over them, and we could no longer get them, so we found a source and had them made just for our customers. So that's pretty exciting. And Janet, those you get, is it 10?
It's 10, yeah.
So you get 10, and how much are
They are
they?
$8.99.
$8.99. So they're not too bad, and they have a plastic coating on them that you just peel off just to protect them, and you peel that off when you get them to use them.
And you can use these any way you want in your album. I have found, and we're going to talk more about this next week, in setting up your album, I just make a section for each of my grandparent couples. Each couple has their own tab, and I just print out a label from the computer.
And there's actually one of Janet's albums
well,
right
there
there
it
from
is.
one of her travels. Okay.
Yeah, so those are some things I would recommend to get started. And I also found that we have these too, which are really nice. If you're looking for a good storage box to keep some of your materials, your paper that you choose, and all of that.
Oh, that would be great for your paper.
That would be great. And I did pull this too. We have this beautiful line called Simple Vintage by Simple Storage. Or Stories? Simple Storage.
Simple stories, simple vintage ancestry.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hold it like straight up, and then there we go. There we lost the glare.
Thank you. This is a beautiful line. It was not available at the time I started working on my albums.
Yeah, it's new.
But yeah, if it had been, I
And
definitely
and
would
it's
have used it.
online under Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Ancestry, and there might be a couple things we're out of, but they shipped us a huge batch of it yesterday, so it'll be arriving early next week.
So if you're looking to get some paper and kind of get all of those supplies, we do have this in the collection kit, and we have individual sheets as well. So those are
It's really pretty.
Oh, it's beautiful. Those are kind of the basics of the supplies that you will need to get started on this project. So
All
let's-
right,
let's
Janet.
talk
Are we
back
going over here now, Janet?
Yeah. So again, when we first started talking about this, everyone said they wanted to get going on it, but they didn't know where to start. So I, luckily, when I did my heritage albums or started my heritage albums a few years ago, I took pictures of my process. So I happen to have some actual pictures of how it started. This is what it looked like with me.
All right, there's Janet starting out.
Yeah. So many of you probably feel like this is where you are right now. And this is how it is right now. This is how it's going.
Janet, you have all those albums done?
Well, I wouldn't call them all done, but
But they're
in the
all in
works.
process.
They're
Oh
in the
my
works.
gosh.
So I think it's like 8.
That's amazing. It
So-
looks like you picked out a color, an album color, just for.
Yes, I use brown for my heritage albums. I use black for my other albums. So that kind of separates them. And we're going to talk next week about setting up your album. But I just wanted to give you hope. If you are in
There is hope.
If you are in, actually, this is where I started out.
Oh yeah, let's show this.
Yeah, this is my basement. and
I
it's
could
kind
not believe this was your basement.
Oh, it's kind of not very clear picture, but at one time there you couldn't even see the carpet. What this was, Kelly, is my dad passed away in 2013. My mom was already gone at that time, and I'm an only child. I was left with the house, and I knew I had to figure out a way to get the house cleared out. And
So you moved it all to your house?
well, I did move a lot of it. I had to have a sale. And after I got my bearings and realized what had happened to me, I thought, how am I going to work myself through all this stuff? And I decided, I'm kind of a process person. I don't know if you know that about me, Kelly.
I kind of would believe that,
Yeah.
Janet. I love it.
So I decided I needed to go through a sorting process at my parents' home, my childhood home. So I bought 30 plastic tubs at the Big Lots store, and I sorted like items together. So I went through the house, I pulled all the linens, labeled the tub linens, I pulled all the vases, labeled the tub vases, put everything together, And then I sorted out of each of those bins, I decided what I wanted to keep, and I brought those items home.
Okay.
The rest that I left at my parents' house, we had an estate sale and so forth. And the reason I'm telling you that is somewhere in this picture are all the photos that I brought home. And all of my parents' photos were mixed together, both sides of the family,
Oh, yeah.
not in any order at
That
all.
sounds familiar.
And I know a lot of you are in that same predicament. So after I had all of this at home, I thought, what am I going to do with the photos? And I thought, well, the same process that I had used for my parents' home might work for working through the photos as well. So I decided I would start by doing a sorting process. So this is what it looked like. I took all the stuff that was photo
All of
related,
this stuff.
and I brought it up into the light, which is what I'm asking you guys to do. And I thought, well, where do I begin? And I thought, well, the sorting process I used for their household belongings might work for this, and it did. So I have put together kind of a little outline of the process I used, and I'm hoping that it will help you too. So we're going to go through that process now, and I'm going to talk you through it, and then I'm going to show you an actual real life example.
A real life
of that.
example.
But before we jump into that, I'm going to give everybody a couple of ideas of not really homework, but a couple of things that you can do that I think would really help you as you go, things that I learned as I went. Make yourself a little timeline of events in your life. And this is my current timeline.
Oh, that's a good idea. I love it.
I use this for my current everyday scrapbooking. This is the year that we graduated from high school, my husband and I, 1980.
I was going to block off the year, Janet, but it's out there
It's
now.
out there.
It's out on the web.
So I have just put this together for my current day scrapbooking. It kind of keeps me on track as I'm working through school age, photos and so forth. I know these are like the significant events.
So it's a
in our
life
life.
timeline, which I think
Yes.
is a great idea, especially for those of us that are behind on our scrapbooking and we want to get caught up, and that's a great reference.
I just keep this on the computer and I just add to it as I go, and it's just I don't have to think so much. I think, well, what year in 1983, what was going on in that year or whatever. In 1994, what grade was Bailey in? That kind of thing. I don't have to think about it because it's on here.
You can just look at it. You don't have to remember it. I love that.
And my point is, if you were to do this with heritage photos, that would also help you. You could think about your parents, for instance. What year did they get married?
Sure.
What year were your siblings born? And just put that in a timeline, and that helps you. It just gives you a frame of reference as
It's
you're
a
working.
good start. I could see how you would add to it
For
continually.
sure, for sure. Oh, let there be light.
We got the lights back on.
other-
I think our glaring things are over.
The other thing that I would do is put together a quick and dirty family tree for yourself.
Okay.
And you may not know very much information at this point. You may only know, this is my husband. You may know this is
Hopefully his
mother,
parents.
Yeah, and his father and his grandparents. You probably would know those. And you may not know these other levels, but write it out and just use it as a working reference as you go. It's super helpful just to have those names recorded. And I did for these, just to show you as an example. When I was doing mine, I had just drawn mine out by hand. But you can go online and search printable family tree. And you can find a zillion different templates just to print out. These are not the ones that you would put in your scrapbook. We have some lovely family tree paper that would be beautiful. These are working kind of family trees that
Sure.
you would just use as a reference.
To kind of figure things out and
Kind of
get
figure
organized
things
and
out.
who's who and
Because you're going to need to keep track of who's who as you go and you sort your photos. It will be very helpful to have all of these listed out as best you can, because these people then will become the tabs in your album.
oh, true.
So
So what Janet said was if you search on Google printable family tree, you'll have all different choices and you can kind of figure out what works best for you. And she's got a couple really fun samples here.
Really, really easy.
I mean, I don't know if they're fun, but they're
Well,
easy and they look cool. I think they look
They're
cool.
Easy. And again, we've got some beautiful family tree paper. This isn't what I would put
Yeah,
in my
once you
album.
figure it out.
This is just kind of your working thing. Another thing I will point out, if you've not done this before, and you're keeping track of the men and women in your family, you always record the women by their maiden name. And
Oh,
that's always
okay.
the way it's done.
So their maiden name. Janet, here's a question, and I don't know if you know the answer or where to find it, but Beth is asking if you have any idea how to find Native American info.
Oh, you know.
She says she's hit a wall on that.
I do not, but I do not. But I
So.
know that it's something that a lot of people are looking
Maybe
for.
if somebody out there has information, they can share it here. And Patty said her family has many second marriages, and it's confusing looking at a tree.
Definitely. Well, depending on what you want to include in your album, you may not need to include all of that. You know,
Right.
just include the couples
What
that
works for you.
that you want to include in your album for sure.
Janet,
any
we have one
questions
more
about-
question
Yeah.
before you go on. The tabs, the album tabs that Janet used here, and here's her first one. They are online under albums and miscellaneous. And you could also search on album dividers and they would come up. So they are online. If you need help finding them, just let us know.
I think this is a good time too to point out the differences between genealogy and family history. Family history scrapbooking is this, what we've been talking about.
Okay, so
Creating
that's
a-
family
an
history scrapbooking
album with the pictures
with
of
what
your
you
family,
have.
With what you have.
Some of us have more, some of us have less.
Correct. Genealogy is the study of your ancestry that goes back through time, generation by generation. And you do not need to be a genealogist to do an album like this.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Not
That
at all.
that makes it a little simpler for us.
But if you are interested in genealogy, it's just going to be so much more even more interesting to you. And you can combine your interest in genealogy and family history scrapbooking also. So if you choose to do genealogy down the road, you can always add that information to your family history scrapbook. Does that make sense?
I think it does. I think it doesn't have to be
It
scientific
does
to get your
not.
family story put in a scrapbook.
Not in the least. But if you want it to be more so, you can go in that
You can go as much as you want. And then there are a couple suggestions out here from viewers, thank you, to check your library or, let's see, somebody says they have a genealogy library, Vicky says, in their town in Independence, Missouri. So there are resources like that too.
Absolutely, and I have only gone to one class at the Iowa Genealogy Society. They have several different classes at our local society, and they said that very little of the total information is online. Most of it is housed in libraries and places like that. So take the time to go visit those places and see if they have any information about your ancestors, and you can supplement that in your family history album.
Sounds good, Janet.
So I want to talk with you about the sorting process. We were talking about this. Everybody
To gather everything up.
Yep, everybody feels like they don't know where to start, and what we're going to start with is sorting like items together. Okay? And so Kelly, I came up with categories that we're going to talk through. So when you sort your pile, these are the things that you are likely to find. You may not find all of these things, but you will find probably a good number of them. So you're going to sort your stuff into categories. You're not going to get bogged down. You're just going to rough sort, and then as we go, we'll get more detail. You're going to start by sorting out your photos and your negatives, and we'll talk more about that later. There are some subcategories. You might find some everyday snapshots, some professional portraits, school photos, etc.
And I'll take a picture of this. I'll snap pictures of all of this so that you can refer to Janet's sheet later.
You might have pictures that look like this in boxes. You might have pictures that are in albums. You might have like your snapshots.
That's what I have, I
Yeah.
think, right there.
You might have professional photos that are a little bit larger in size. You can have some heritage snapshots. All of these are the different kinds of photos that you're going to probably encounter. Some of your photos are going to be in beautiful old albums like this. You might find some old negatives too. So photos and negatives, you're going to have a lot of those. That's probably our bread and butter, Kelly, I would say. You're going to have some photo albums that are still intact. I would say for now, keep them intact. And you may always want to keep them intact, but I would not remove any photos from an album yet. Who has slides? Do you have slides, Kelly?
I don't have slides, but my husband's Uncle Gordon always had slides and showed slides when we were younger. So
I know some of you probably have slide situation. We'll talk about that too. I know I've got a ton of them, and that we'll talk next week probably about how to work with those. You may find photos that are in frames, old frames or new frames.
oh, true.
And then you probably will have some memorabilia, which are like the things I showed you in my grandma's album. Postcards, letters, programs, birth certificates. I think you saw all of those. And then you might encounter some things that I would call dimensional. Like we have an old family Bible that's probably 4 or 5 inches tall and quite large. I have clothing. I have all kinds of other things. I have a dresser, glassware. Those are things that you also have that are somehow related to your family. So those are kind of the raw materials that will somehow make their way, some of them, into your scrapbook album. So these are the categories that you're going to sort things into. Hopefully everybody's tracking with that, Kelly.
I think so.
You might also encounter photos that are in albums like this. Do you remember
Oh,
these,
I hate those
Kelly?
albums. Yes.
These are called magnetic albums. And if you have photos that are in these albums, they do need to be rescued. This is the one exception I would say.
You can see how they get discolored after
Yeah.
time.
The yellow in here is acid, and it over time will discolor your photos. This is a picture of me from like 7th grade or 8th grade. I'm in there
Look,
somewhere.
that looks like the hairstyles
yeah,
from then, Janet.
back in the day. If you are lucky, your pictures will just fall right out.
Mine did not.
But most people aren't so lucky. So you can take a piece of dental floss and run it behind the picture, and it should loosen the adhesive. And then I would say just put these then in a file in your photo box. Keep them in the order of the album. You can even take a picture before you dismantle it. If there's sticky residue on the back, just put a piece of cardstock between the photos so that they don't stick to each other. You want to definitely, I would take a picture of the completed album of each page so that you know the order that the pictures need to
Oh,
go
good.
in.
Janet, that's a great tip.
And then if they will not come out at all, you can also use Undo. And Kelly, I know you've used Undo.
I've used it a lot, and it works amazingly. And I had all kinds of photo albums like this from high school. And some of them, I opened them up, and all the pictures fell out, and some of them stuck. And it's before I knew about Undo, so I threw those away, Janet.
Oh,
I hate that, but
no.
I got rid of them because I couldn't do anything with them. But
And Undo is safe for photos, which to me is it's miraculous because
It
it's a
is.
liquid product that evaporates.
it won't hurt your photos at all.
At all. So you just squirt a little bit. There's a little shovel that goes underneath your photo, and it helps to loosen and dissolve the adhesive. So
Okay, and we have a couple questions. Yes, we will post Janet's printouts here, so you can refer to those. And then they're asking, Beth wants to know, how do you keep all of this acid free?
well, all of the products that we sell here in the store for scrapbooking are acid free, are going to be safe for your photos. So the paper, the adhesives that we sell, the photo
The
box.
storage.
Yeah, all of that is good. So I would just make sure that you're using good, high quality materials that are designed for scrapbooking, that are going to last the long haul.
Because if you're going through all that work, you want to make sure that it's going to
Absolutely.
last and your story's going to be there for future
Absolutely.
generations.
Now, I will also say that a purist would tell you before you handle your photos that you should probably put gloves on. I'm not a person that works in gloves, but I do always wash my hands to make sure that the oils are off my hands before I handle old photos.
Oh, it's a good tip.
And just try to hold onto your older photos by the sides and not touch the fronts of them. but if you're really concerned and have some very delicate pictures, certainly gloves are recommended by people who do this for a living, which is not me, Kelly. But,
Well,
but just depending on
you
what
kind of do, Janet.
Well, depending on.
Crafty stuff, you do that for a living.
Yeah, but that's just something to take into consideration too. So what I've done over here, Kelly, this is a real life example of what you guys probably have.
Okay, we have a quick question while you get set up. Dorothy wants to know if Undo will remove photos that are stuck to glass in frames.
Oh, I do not know.
I think it's made to unstick adhesive. So if it's stuck with a tape, it won't really work on a liquid adhesive, but if it's stuck with a tape, I think it would work, but you could just give it a try. Put some on the corner and let it soak down, and maybe we can show that, Janet, in one of your weeks, how to use Undo to take photos off.
For sure. So what I have done here is using those categories we just went through, I took a sticky note.
Okay.
And I wrote each of those categories on a
Photos,
sticky note.
negatives, photo albums. So, Janet, you are organized.
So all we're going to do is sort like items together. And I'm not going to go through this entire box, but just to give you an idea of what this would look like.
Okay, who has a box like this at home that's just all totally lots of stuff?
Crazy, yes.
Janet, how nice that you happen to have one of these for this
you know
series.
what? This is not my own family. This is my husband's family, and this box came from his mom's house.
Oh my gosh,
So,
what treasures!
Yeah, it's to me, it's ripe for scrapbooking.
I'd say so.
And so I thought, well, gosh, it's got everything in it that I need to show you guys today. So I just brought it along. So,
Oh, it's perfect.
and I feel like this is a real life example because I don't know who most of these people are. So I don't have a head start on this at all. But this is basically photos that are in this box. And you can see there are lots of different kinds of photos. You've got photos in frames.
Oh, there you go.
There's my husband's sister.
I thought you were going to say my husband for a minute. So that's your sister-in-law.
Yeah, and that's the only framed photo that happens to be in here.
Okay.
We have some very, very old negatives. And we're going to be talking
Oh,
about
look at those
too.
envelopes. That looks like
Isn't that cool?
something that Tim Holtz would reprint, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and we have the very old negatives.
Oh,
And
wow.
we'll be talking about those. So I would put those in my negative pile.
Okay, they're going to the negative pile.
Now the
You probably need a
photos-
big table for this,
Yeah,
don't you,
This is why
Janet?
you need a big table. So here you can see all the different kinds of photos, and we're going to talk about this more next week, the different categories of photos. But you can see some are in the cardboard frames.
Oh,
That's my husband.
is that Jay? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You've got some of these beautiful old cabinet card photos.
Okay, why are they called cabinet card? Do you know?
I do not know why they're called cabinet card, but they can be distinguished by having the printing along the bottom, and they're a certain size.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
If you learn about the different kinds of printing of photography, it can help you date your photos. And then if
Okay.
your photos are dated, you can kind of narrow down who might be in the picture. So this one we lucked out because they're actually identified on the back.
Nice.
So you've got a lot of different kinds of photos. So I'm going to put this whole box in the photo category for now. This is just what I would call a broad
So this is your
sort.
starting to sort.
Yeah, a broad sort. Here are a couple of,
Oh my gosh, Janet, I love this kind of stuff.
isn't it awesome? Here's
It is.
an album. This is a more modern
This
day
looks more
album,
current.
A current album. So I'm going to put that in the photo album category. That down
I'm dying
here-
to know what that album is.
Oh,
Well, okay,
this?
go ahead and do. I don't want. Oh,
This
that
is-
box says transistor radio on
Yeah.
it.
And in here is a light bulb. My husband's grandfather was an electrician, and so this is information and a lock of hair. Ooh. So these items too, you might
Oh
find
my gosh.
dimensional items.
All right.
So what would you do with these? You could take pictures of them and include them in your album. So, so I'm just going to set that here. This is my mother-in-law's baby book.
That's what I was dying to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, Sharon's baby book. I don't know if she's watching today. If she is, I'm sure.
It's going to bring back some memories. Oh my gosh.
So a book like this,
That is
I
so precious.
I would keep this intact. I would never take this apart because the book itself is part of the charm of something like this, and
Yes.
the writing, and it's been put together in a certain order, and you would never want to dismantle this.
That's
However, you could
very
take pictures
cool.
of the
Yeah,
photos and then use those. So this I would call heritage memorabilia. And then there's also another box of, the rest of basically the whole box is memorabilia. So just to give you an idea of the kinds of things that you might run into, this is a marriage license or marriage record.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I would have to figure out, for this would be my husband's grandparents. And this
Nice.
was from way, way back. So isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
So that again would go here in the memorabilia category. This one is from my husband's grandfather, and it's kind of words to live by. Be a good listener.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that is amazing.
Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. So wouldn't that be fun to include in an album?
Yes, that's precious.
So memorabilia like this can get really overwhelming very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's the advantage of creating a life binder. So I could create a life binder for Herman Aerosmith, and it would have a category in it for his work or for miscellaneous stuff that I might find. And then all of these things can go in there and be organized for when I'm ready to put them in my album. So this is where
Wow.
we're starting.
So
We're
you
starting just
started
by-
the sorting.
by sorting. And then what I thought in future weeks, starting next week, we're gonna go through the categories in more detail. Because I know what the next problem that you're gonna encounter is, and it's going to be, who are these people?
Yes.
You know, we have a lot of photographs that are not identified. I'm gonna share with you some tricks that I've learned along the way of how to identify photos and how to figure out who the people are in those photos so that you can get them in your scrapbook. So we're gonna go through the categories in some detail and talk about what to do with them. We're also gonna talk about how to make your life binder next week, and then also how to set up your album and get started. Because I would like everybody to jump in to their scrapbook sooner than later. Because if you wait until you have all of this figured out, you're not gonna get started scrapbooking for a very long time. So I would say there will be some pictures that you know for sure who the people are. Start scrapbooking those right away, get them into an album. And we'll talk more about that next week. Because I figure people need a little bit of time to get themselves organized.
They do. And Janet, we have a question. Jerry is asking if you need to be concerned about putting a Post-it note on a document.
Well, I would not put a Post-it note on there for long term. I think, you know,
Short
this-
term.
Yeah, I just put this on here this morning. I would not keep it on there long term because Post-it notes probably not.
Probably not acid-free, but
Acid-free. But you're not going to keep anything long enough in that situation to cause it any harm. Any other questions, Kelly?
does anyone else have questions for Janet? I've been amazed, Janet. I'm glad I got to record today because I have learned a lot. And you've had lots of great compliments. Janet says, another Janet, a viewer Janet, says it's a great start. And thank you so much because Janet showed us supplies to get started. The album, the storage, the binder. She showed us how to start sorting our stuff. And you know what, Janet? I think a lot of us don't do this because it's overwhelming. And to get started is just like, that's a big job. But I think you've broken it down very nicely. She showed us an album that she's working on for her grandmother. She showed us even a picture of her basement from when she started out.
I think the hardest part is just being brave enough to get the box out and start.
I agree.
And once you get it separated into smaller, more manageable piles, then you can start to see your way through the project. But I would ask everybody to think about, where do you want to end up with this project? And you want to start with the end, or begin with the end in mind, is what they say. So if you want to create a family album for yourself or for your husband, separate your pictures that way from the get-go, and that will set you up for success. So envision where you want to go with this project, and then when you're doing your sorting, you can kind of keep that in mind.
And we know a lot of people want to get started. And Janet, I think you've done a lot of inspiration today
I hope so.
We want to thank everyone for watching. If you have any questions, please give us a call. We're memory bound. We're right in the middle of Iowa. And we've got our stores open today, and we're open this weekend. So stop in or get those boxes of memorabilia and old family photos out. And we're so lucky because Janet will be back next Friday. So thank you so much, Janet, and thank you everyone for watching.